Hello everyone, my name is Jay Brislin. I'm with Quantum Rehab and I'm here to introduce the TB3 seating system. This is the next evolution or next generation of our TRU-Balance seating system. We feel that this is very technologically advanced, a lot of innovative features and functions that we put into this, and it's been built on the collaboration between our providers, our therapists, our consumers, and our engineers. We've tried to build this based on what our rehab professionals and the community need, and especially for the clients to ensure that they have a very comfortable seating system that operates the way they need it to, as well as something that they can rely on that's functional and durable. A couple things about the TB3 seating system. We wanted to make sure that the TB3 seating system had a lot of parts commonality. So whether you had a TB3 static seat or all the way up to multiple power, which would include tilt, recline, or a power seat, that many of the same parts and components were being used within the system. So whether you have that static seat, which I discussed, or a full multiple power seating system, when the system is all the way down, it still has a very clean and aesthetic look, and it all looks very similar. From an aesthetic perspective, the standard back cushion is our TB3 sport cushion. You can see the stitching here within the sport back cushion that helps to create a little bit of a pillowing effect for the client for more comfort, but also from an aesthetic appeal. We also offer the True Comfort 2 seat cushion with a sport cushion cover. Again, you can see the stitching here to give a more aesthetic appeal. Any of your Synergy seat cushions are available for TB3, just like they are in your current seating system, as well as your different back options, which are your True Comfort, or upgrading to your True Comfort back cushions in either an air mesh or a 4-way stretch material. The TB3 seating system spans a wide range of sizes, going from 12 wide by 12 deep all the way up to 28 wide by 28 deep. The TB3 system has also been developed to be able to go up to a 450-pound weight capacity, which would obviously be base dependent. So on your Q6 Edge HD as well as your Q1450, the TB3 seating system will go up to a 450-pound weight capacity for functions which would include tilt, recline, as well as your fixed or power center mounts. Aside from creating an innovative aesthetic look, innovative features and functions, and advanced comfort for a client, something else that we wanted to make sure that we did with the TB3 seating system is make it very easy to adjust. One of the issues that happen throughout the industry when we're fitting clients into chairs is we have to do multiple transfers of the client in and out of the chair to make sure that we could do some fine-tuning adjustments to make sure that they're fitted correctly in the chair and that they're optimized from a functionality standpoint. What we wanted to do is we wanted to make adjustments very easy and, for the most part, allow most of these adjustments to be fine-tuned with the client in the chair. One of the things that you'll receive with the TB3 seating system is this pouch that contains 5 different tools. This will accompany the owner's packet. So now these tools, what these are going to do is these are all your 5 major tools to do your client adjustments on this chair, again, while the person's sitting in the chair. I'm going to go through that here in just a minute. As discussed before, the TB3 can go from a static seating system all the way to a multiple power system. So some of the power functions that are available within the TB3 are a 50-degree tilt, that goes up to that we talked about, a 450-pound weight capacity, base dependent, as well as a power recline that'll go to 168 degrees. And again, your power recline and your power legs will also allow for a 450-pound weight capacity. So with your 450-pound weight capacity, again, you're on your Q6 Edge HD or your 1450. So this is allowing multiple power within a Group 3 setting, or the Group 3 heavy-duty setting. As you can see with the recline, we also are using cantilever articulating arms. So the arms are actually going with the recline instead of staying up in the air as the person is reclining back and the back angle is changing. Another feature involved in the TB3 is a power elevating seat. This is a scissor lift mechanism that is independent of all the other functions. So your scissor lift mechanism is going to go to 10 inches of elevation, and it's going to hold a 300-pound weight capacity. So the power elevating seat at this juncture is the only power function on the TB3 that stays at a 300-pound weight capacity. The tilt, the recline, the power legs will all go up to 450. One of the things that has been very well received with the TB3 has been the seat to floor heights that it offers. We were able to do very low seat to floor heights on many of our Group 3 bases because we're not stacking the different actuators. We're actually using them almost like cassettes. So they're melding in together as you need one. So everything starts with the same subframe, and then as you need these other modular components, whether it be a lift, whether it be the tilt, whether it be recliner, or some combination of those features, they're all able to be easily added because they interconnect with the subframe. The seat to floor heights currently on the TB3 are under 18 inches for your multiple power tilt and recline, as well as when you add your power elevating seat. Seat to floor heights for the TB3 on many of the Group 3 bases remain under 18 inches when you have any of your functions, including tilt, recline, power elevating seat, or a combination of all of them. As we discussed in the earlier segment, the TB3 has a consistent subframe regardless of what functions that you put on. Over this plastic piece, if you were to pop this plastic piece off, you could see that the quick center of gravity adjustment on the subframe is still intact, and you're able to just take your tool, loosen up the 4 nuts on each side, and be able to slide your center of gravity back. Again, this is one of those quick adjustments that we talked about that we're going to go through with the whole seating system. As discussed, adjustments for the TB3 were one of the key features of the seating system. To show how the width adjustment is done, it's actually very easy. The width adjustment all comes within 4-inch increments. So for instance, an 18 wide seat, you'll be able to get down to 16 or up to 20. All I have to do is take one of my Allen keys and remove the bolts or the screws that are inside the seat pan. I've done this to a couple already and loosened them. So once I loosen and remove the 3 on each side, I can remove my seat pan, which is going to expose the underframe here. So the next tool I would take would be my wrench. And there's a bolt here in the rear that I would loosen, which I already have semi-loosened, and one here in front. That I would loosen. And what that's going to then allow me to do is each side of this frame here is attached within a joint. So these telescope within this bar. So then that would then allow me to either pull and increase my width or push in and decrease my width. And then I'm able to tighten these bolts back up. These are all actually divoted, so they're going in 1/2-inch increments. So you'll see what we've done here on the seat pan is this goes from 16, this pan itself will go from 16 wide to 20 wide. And depending on where I get my frame into, it'll expose the number on the pan depending on what seat width that I'm actually at. Again, this is a couple minute process. It's much easier than anything that is out there at this point. And this will also allow you to be able to accommodate for people that may have changed weight, that have some form of functional change, or if you have a demo at a clinic, for instance, and you have different clients that are evaluating with the same chair, you can easily change the seating dimensions of this system very quickly so that you could go in and out and do different evals with different people. As far as the depth adjustment goes, one of the things that was very critical about our current TRU-Balance 2 seating system is the easy depth adjustment we had, and the fact that you were able to do it with the client seating in the system. We've done a lot of the same here on the TB3, but in a little bit of a different way. As you can see, we don't have any side canes that are coming out anymore. We've kind of kept these extrusions or side rails open for positioning components, which I'll get into a little bit later. Your depth adjustment is actually accomplished right here, your quick client depth adjustment. So you have 2 vertical bolts on each side, and if you loosen these bolts, this whole back, including the arms and everything, will slide within these channeled extrusions. So what I'm able to do is, depending on whatever depth that I set the system at, I could get 1.5 inches forward by loosening these bolts and sliding the back forward, or up to 1.25 inches rearward. To get additional depth adjustment, I can remove my C-pan and I can get up to 4 inches of additional depth adjustment, which comes out towards the front. So you can see how these two bars right here actually telescope into this piece in the rear. So what I would do again is take the wrench that I received from my toolkit, and I would loosen the tool bolts here on this side, the 2 on this side, and then the 4 on each side of the rail. And then I could pull out my depth and achieve what I need to from a depth perspective. Again, these are divoted here on the side so that you'll know that they're going in 1-inch increments from where you're at. Again, this is to get your large depth of adjustment. So this would be if you know, you were changing this chair, again, if it was an evaluation chair and you were changing it from client to client and you needed to truly dial things in. The quick depth adjustment is really done for when you already have the chair ordered and you're doing some final fitting and measurements before you release the chair to the client. So regardless of what seat functions you may have, whether it be a static seat, whether it be tilt, or whether it be recline, everything is working off a center spine. So the back plate itself is actually remaining the same. So you saw how I took the back cushion off before. The next thing I would do here is there's a little thumb screw. If I remove the thumb screw from the back, I can lift and remove the back off of this center spine. This center spine is the main piece that's going to always be constant regardless of the functions that you have. The other thing about the center spine is there are tapped holes all throughout this center spine, which will allow you to get 1 inch, which will allow you to get an additional inch of height from what you ordered, or minus 2 inches of height from what you ordered, all within the system. So everything is maintained within that system. The other nice thing to do from a parts commonality perspective is, again, we've tried to keep everything within the system. So regardless of the adjustments that you're making or the changes that you're making in the seating, for the most part, everything's there for you. So this back pan, as you can see, there's a centerpiece to the back pan and there's actually wings to the back pan. So each back pan has up to 4 inches of width adjustment. So if I ordered an 18-inch wide seat, I could create an endomorph or a mesomorph application with only having just a new needing just a new back cushion. So if I was to remove my bolts from each wing and then loosen these from the center, I could slide these wings in and out to either narrow the back width from the seat width or increase the back width from the seat width. Again, allowing you to dial in the way your client needs to be seated in the chair without really needing any additional parts or a ton of manpower to be able to do it. As far as aftermarket backs go, the TB3 will accept aftermarket backs. There's really 2 ways to be able to do this. We as an organization have worked very closely with all of our rehab professionals and therapists to understand a lot of the different backs that they're using. So if you have a solid pan that can be drilled into in your aftermarket backs, like I said, these holes are all tapped, so you can remove these 3 pins and you can bolt directly the pan into this center spine. If not, we have an additional piece that'll come off, and mount to this center spine, come off to the sides, and have 1-inch tubular back canes that'll allow you to use the aftermarket back mounting brackets that you receive with it. Another thing too, which I'll get into shortly, is there are extruded rails here along the side. So in many cases, certain brackets will slide within these rails and you can bolt them down in the rails and attach the back that way. As we discussed earlier, many of the things we wanted to do was to be very client adjustment friendly so that the adjustments could take place with the client in the chair. We just discussed how to create an endomorph or mesomorph application by just shrinking or widening your back and being able to get a different back cushion. But the next question comes up: if I shrink or widen my back, what do I need to do with the arms? Well, first of all, the arms are height adjustable, which are done in the back, and I'll show here in a second. But the arms are width adjustable, and you're not removing anything. You're not removing any bolts or any parts, and especially you're not removing the client. So again, if I take another one of my Allen keys that we get in the toolkit, there are screws on each side of each arm, and what those are going to do is allow me to pivot the arms in and out to where the client may need them. So if I was to take my Allen key and just insert it into the screw and spin, you can see how my arm will move. So this is the rear pivot point, but then I can get to the front pivot point and be able to back that out and straighten the arm, and then they remain locked into place from wherever you're at. Now, the other thing too is, other than an endomorph or mesomorph situation, this may be very good for a lot of the clients that may have increased hand function when their arms or their upper extremities are closer to their trunk. So you could go in and you could really do a lot of different things with these arms to be able to make them right where the client may need them. Now, as far as the arm goes too, underneath the arm there are a little bit of a pivot with underneath the arm. There are 2 set screws and 3 different holes. If I have the set screws in the 2 top holes, this arm will remain solid and straight. If I remove it to the inside hole and the bottom hole, that will then allow the arm to swivel in a little bit. If I do the opposite and move it to the outside and the underneath hole, it'll allow the arm to swivel out. So if I have my back on, but my arms are in for my client, I can allow this arm to swivel out just a little bit so that it can swivel out and then flip up to be able to transfer in and out. Other than the arms flipping out of the way, or flipping back and flipping out of the way, there's a pin here right underneath which I can pull, and it allows me to remove the arm too. So again, this is just a little additional something that may help from a caregiver perspective when they're transferring clients in and out of the mobility device. The other thing too, while we have the chair turned around, is you can see where the height adjustment for the arms are. So the height adjustment, the arms are actually inserted into this channel. So there's 2 bolts, one on top, one underneath, that need to be loosened, as well as you take one of the wrench that is supplied in your toolkit, and then you loosen up the bar right here, and then that'll allow you to bring your arms up or down, again with somebody in the chair, so you can make that adjustment to exactly where they need it. Probably one of the most exciting pieces about the TB3 is the accessories that are going to be available with it. One of the things that we did with a lot of feedback from the industry was we wanted to create some what we were considering universal accessories, but also accessories that were very client friendly, were things that the client wanted, things that we wouldn't necessarily expect not to have in any of our vehicles or anything like that. And that's ultimately what this is a vehicle for someone. So what we did is, you're very used to the extrusions, the slotted extrusions that you see on the TRU-Balance 2 seating system. So we kept that pretty similar, except that we changed the size. It's a standard size. It's T-nuts that you can get at any of your hardware stores. Obviously there will be a ton of T-nuts that come within the owner's packet, but this slotted side rail just doesn't end at the seat. The slotted side rail actually goes down both outside of the arms, 2 slots underneath the arms, a slot here on the inside of the arm, as well as on each side in the back, a slot on the outer side and on the back side. All these are the same size. So one of the things that we're going to do is, when a client, or when a TRU-Balance 3 seating system is ordered for a client, they will have the option to go with a bunch of different accessories that can easily slide within any of these tracks, be tightened down, and then be able to be mounted very quickly. So we will have a complimentary accessory section on our order form. So anyone that gets a TB3 seating system will be allowed to pick 2 complimentary accessories, which include things like a cell phone holder, a cup holder, an item hook. There will also be a premium accessory section, which will be a nominal upcharge, but will include things like a hydration system for those clients that are driving with alternative controls, such as maybe a head array or a sip and puff, then to glove boxes and a couple other things. Your accessory plan will actually be shown at launch. We will make sure that we have a booklet that goes with all the different accessories that come with this, so you'll be able to see that. One of the other things you'll be able to see with the TB3 is it will come with different hang tags to show you all the fine tuning adjustments that go throughout the arm, as far as your height adjustment, your width adjustment, and it will also talk through all the different adjustments that go through the chair in much more detail than I did. One of the accessories that's attached to the chair here is the transfer handle. So the transfer handle we did a little bit more ergonomically correct. You can see there's a little bit of an angle here, but the transfer handle is quick removable. There's actually a little D10 pin that kind of holds it in steady, but then this is our universal bracket, and the nice thing about this bracket is, again, it can pretty much go and be mounted anywhere throughout the seating system where there's a channel. And then this rings true for pretty much all the other accessories that'll be offered with this. The transfer handle is pretty versatile. You could change it so that it's sitting this way or that way, and then you could really kind of put it anywhere you need to put it throughout the rail. One of our plans as we move forward with TB3 is, the nice thing about this system is it was all built and integrated into one. So any of the ongoing changes or improvements that we made will be able to be made very quickly from our research and development team. Things like adding more accessories and being able to take different feedback from the field on how to do different things and make the system even better. We hope that because of the parts commonality, we'll be able to take this and really not only create a large game changer from a seating system when this is launched and in the field, but also continue to add to this to make that even that much better and innovative. A couple more things that I just want to make sure that I point out on the TB3 seating system is how the back actually looks. So your back plastic cover, this is going to be the same regardless of whether you have a tilt or a power recline. Currently this seating system has a power recline on it, but if it had a tilt on it, instead of the power actuator being here, this power actuator will be replaced with a gas strut. And by removing the 4 Phillips head screws on this back plastic piece, I would expose that gas strut, and that gas strut will have a lever. So what will happen is, as I depress the lever with the person sitting in the chair, I can change their back angle to -15 or +20 degrees with them still sitting there, and be able to really dial in what their back angle degree would be. This is something really innovative, because when you think about currently changing someone's back angle, in many cases you're transferring the person in and out of the chair multiple times, and you're only going in couple degree increments and removing bolts and changing the positioning of the back. So this makes that much easier as well. Again, there are many features and functions for the TB3 seating system that I'm sure we will go through as we go through the launch period and have this out into the industry, but I wanted to make sure I gave everyone a very quick description of what some of the key features to this system are. We are very excited. We feel like this is a game changer in the industry from a seating and positioning perspective, and we do need to make sure that we are thanking the entire industry for this. This isn't anything that came out of a couple people, you know, here at Quantum Rehab sitting down and figuring out. This was stuff that came from the industry. This was all the feedback that we received on our current system, on all the systems that are out there, and really what our consumers, our therapists, and our rehab professionals, our providers, were telling us what they wanted. So this really is the fruit of labor of a lot of people within the industry. So we're very proud to, along with the rest of the industry, introduce this seating system and hopefully continue to make very innovative and technologically advanced products.